What's up, everybody? My name is RaisorBlade. So, another episode of Samurai Jack came out this weekend. Yeah, things are finally starting to come to a head. Again, I'm kind of sad about that because Samurai Jack has just been, it's undoubtedly one of, the best animated series of the modern era, of the last decade. Just its artistic value, the way it was made and everything. It's just such a damn good show. The way it's able to tell stories without words, how it's just mostly animation using, just animation that tells the whole story for the most part. And a lot of that is like this episode. A lot of the episode, for the most part, is just the animation telling the story. So this episode takes up immediately after where the last episode ended off, where Jack finally got over his thoughts on suicide, which, by the way, it was called a seppuku. A seppuku. That's what the official term is called when a samurai has to commit suicide for honor-based reasons. I didn't know what the word was last week, but I figured it out. I looked it up. That's what it's called. A seppuku. So yeah, Ashi saved him. So now they're basically trying to find the sword. The sword. And stuff like that. So, as it turns out, we finally see what happened. We see through a flashback how Jack lost the sword in the first place. Finally. And we find out that, I won't explain how it happens, I won't give that away. I will say this much, though, that the sword left Jack on its own free will somehow, meaning the sword is somehow alive, which I guess kind of makes sense because it was made by the gods and everything, so it does kind of make sense that it left him in a way. Because in the battle, he accidentally kills an innocent in his pure rage, in his anger and rage and everything. You know, you've seen how in the previous episodes we've seen that angry Jack and stuff, as a hallucinogen on the side with talking to Jack as he talks to himself and all that kind of stuff. Well, that anger caused him to kill an innocent in the flashback. Again, not giving too much away except for that, which led to the sword to leaving Jack. So now it's up to Jack to try and find where the sword is, and meanwhile, Ashi fights an army. That's basically it. So, while Jack's going on the spiritual trip, Ashi's kicking ass. And my god, does she kick ass. She, decimates this entire army by herself. Oh my god, it's fucking awesome. I won't give too much away, especially the ending, because, well, I guess I'll say this much. The ending kind of wraps up Ashi's story for what it is, as we've seen so far. I won't give away too much, but, yeah. Basically, all of the remnants of Ashi's past is kind of wiped out in this episode. It explains where the army came from. It wraps up Ashi's past history and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's basically that. Again, I don't want to give too much away. There's just too much to spoil in this episode. That's just so good. But mainly, a lot of the episode, like I said, is very quiet, and it's nothing but the animation telling the story. Throughout this mental progress that Jack's going through, he's just going on this spiritual journey. He's traveling through a meadow. The score is very very whimsical, very soft, and everything like that. And he eventually happens upon a monk's temple, a temple of a monk, and everything like that. And basically, the most part is just him making tea. That's the whole episode. That's his whole subplot. Like I said, there's two plots being followed. The first one's Ashi's, obviously, and the second one is Jack making tea. That's plot. It's just him making tea, and it goes through all these different ways that I guess people made tea back then, back in the day during the samurai times. He has three different bowls. No, he has two bowls. He has this large stick. He has a smaller stick. He's got some leaves. And it just follows the whole technique of making tea. Completely well, I mean, it cuts back and forth, but for the most part, it's pretty much everything they do to make tea back then. It's actually surprisingly interesting. They made making tea interesting somehow. That just says how great Samurai Jack is. They were able to make tea look interesting. Oh, man. But, God, I don't want to give away the ending. I don't really want to give away anything that happens in this episode. Otherwise, I'm going to have a 4.5-minute video. You know what? Fuck it. This will be the cutoff point. So from this point on, spoilers. I am making a spoiler section from this point out. In fact, there's only like 3 more episodes after this one, so there's the 8th, 9th, and the 10th one. So yeah, from this point on, yeah, I'm going to have spoiler sections where I'll talk about the spoiling of the episode, where I will spoil the entire episode. So, from this point on, I'm spoiling the episode. So this is your warning to leave the video, alright? It's your last chance. 3, 2, 1. Jack finds a sword, he gets a haircut and a shave, and Ashi kills her mother. There, you've been spoiled. But no, seriously. It turns out that's where the army came from. Ashi's mother tracked down the samurai, or Jack, though, why am I calling him that? And basically, Ashi fights against her mother, and it's a pretty intense fight, where they use nothing but knives, and everything like that. And the thing is, we never see Ashi's mother's face, which I'm sure some people might be a little upset about, but I thought that was a great idea. Now, personally, I love the idea of a mask, because it often hides the identity of the person. Now, for this works great, because we never really knew who Ashi's mother was. Like, we never figured out. In a way, Ashi never really knew her mother either, which is kind of sad if you think about it. It really is. So, giving Ashi's mother a face, I think, kind of takes away some of the terror that she has over Ashi and over as a villain entirely. You know, like, she's not just the face of Ashi's mother, she's the face of a whole cult. A group of people whose lives have been dedicated to killing the samurai for Aku and stuff. So, you know, giving her a human face kind of takes away from the terror. It's like, oh, look, that's the person who started the cult. No, with the mask, it's like everyone who wears that mask, you have no idea who the leader is. It's like, oh, God, who's who? Like, they're all part of this scary cult that's actually terrifying. And it's a very terrifying idea. So the mask is, you know, the mask idea, in my opinion, really works, in my opinion. So I'm really happy that the show never gave Ashi's mother a face. I'm really happy about that. So that's that. The beginning. The episode begins with a flashback where we see how Jack lost his sword in the first place. It begins with these 3 baby goats following Jack up this mountain to the time portal. And then we get to see him fight Aku, which is kind of a nice little thing from the past. So yeah, and Aku transforms the 3 little baby goats into monsters. And because they were baby goats, those are the innocents I was talking about earlier. And basically, yeah, that's it right there. Basically, Jack kills them in his blind anger and rage. And that's what makes the sword leave him in the first place. Like, you just killed 3 innocent animals because you were angry at Aku. You let your rage take over, and you lost balance, which is what the monk said, basically. Well, he didn't say it exactly like that, but that's basically what he said. You've lost your balance, and you have to reclaim balance. So yeah, that's basically that. But by the end of the episode, Jack is finally able to overcome the anger within him. He sees the gods again, the 3 gods from the original show. I can't remember who they are. I know one is Ra, the god of the sun. I don't know the other 2. I'm sorry. I don't know the other 2. Like, one's a Viking, and the other one is kind of like, I guess, Buddha from Buddhism and stuff like that. So I don't know those 2 names. I'm sorry. Yeah, feel free to correct me in the comments, because I have no idea. But I know Ra is one of them, the bird from Egypt. But yeah, basically the episode ends with Jack getting his sword back, and he gets clothes again. He finally has his old clothes. He looks just like Jack from the original series, from when we first started the show. He's got the ponytail again. He's got the white robe. He looks just like Jack. He looks good as new. It's awesome. No longer he's got the beard gone too. The beard is shaved and everything. And even Ashi points that out. It's like, you shaved and got a haircut somehow. And Jack's like, and you have been busy. It's like, yeah, it's really funny like that. So basically the episode ends with them deciding that they're finally ready to go fight Aku together. So yeah, that's basically the next episode. That they're going to fight against some monster, and from what it's been hinting at, Ashi and Jack might have a relationship in the future. So that might happen, and that's something that might be really troublesome in the future because, well, first off, there's only 3 episodes, so yeah, they're going to have to wrap the story up. When they finally find Aku again, and such, it's going to be kind of sad to think that when Jack goes back to the past, Ashi will never be born. If he's able to fix the past and fix the future, Ashi might never be born. Either she might never be born or she will be born, but she'll never be part of the cult because Aku was never really a thing in the future. So she might go on to live a normal life, which is a good thing. It's good, but, like, just think about it. Everything that Jack did in the future will basically be rendered null and void. All the people he inspired, all the hope he's created in the future, all of those things, wiped out. It'll be as if it never happened. And that is such a depressing idea. To think that, if you think about it, if you really think about it, ever since the beginning, if Jack does succeed in going back to the past, does succeed in killing Aku, then my God, will that be so terrible? Will that be really sad? You know what I'm saying? Because, like, oh man, because they'll make the entire show null and void, basically. Oh man, but it's been a hell of a ride. I mean, it has been one hell of a ride. I mean, like I said, I'm really sad to see Samurai Jack end after all this time. We've waited 13 years. Like, this show started in 2001, so it's over 16 years old at this point. And we've been waiting 16 years for the story to end. We've been waiting all this time for Jack to finally fulfill his destiny and beat Aku. And damn it, is it not going to be the saddest fucking thing on the planet. It really will be. And I hate that so much, but at the same time, I'm happy I got to take part in this journey because, I mean, all great journeys have to come to an end, in my opinion. Like, Avatar The Last Airbender had to come to an end, all that good stuff. And that was a damn good show. Steven Universe, I heard, is ending soon, which is also really sad. I really love that show as well. Adventure Time is officially ending. They officially confirmed that show was wrapping up next year. Steven Universe only been hinting at it, but from the commercials and stuff, it looks like it might be ending soon, which is sad because I love Steven Universe. But basically, yeah. Shit. There's not much really to talk about with this episode anymore. I could go on and on about how great Samurai Jack is as a show. And once the season wraps up, I might make a special video about Samurai Jack altogether. But basically, yeah, that's it. That's it for this episode. Jack has a sword back. Ashi killed her mother. Yep, straight up killed her. Basically, yeah. Everything's finally coming to a head, and it's sad. It's fucking sad. I swear, when the last episode comes in, I am going to cry. I will probably end up crying. It's going to be that sad. But yeah, that's the end of this video. I'm ending it now. So, what do you guys think about the new episode of Samurai Jack? Are you guys sad for the ending? Because I know I am. I'm going to so cry. But thanks so much for watching, guys. And as always, I'll see you next time. So stay awesome, guys. Rock on.